know I don't like visiting your parents.
Yes, I know you've made it very clear on multiple occasions.
Your mother seems fine enough. But your father,
Stepfather.
yes. Well, when I'm near him, I just never feel
Comfortable?
safe.
We can leave straight after dinner, I'm sure.
Is dinner part of tonight's plans?
Oh, hello.
Hmm.
Who are, I mean,
I'm Wilma Costas.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
Formerly Mrs. Wilma Vines.
How delightful to see you again, Wilma.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. I wasn't sure that...
Case, Judy, good to see you both.
yes, thank you.
Good to see you too.
Now, when is this dinner we were invited to?
Dinner will be ready in a moment. I believe Stan wanted to talk to us all beforehand.
Is there some place I can leave my bike helmet?
Oh, here, out in the hallway.
Who was that?
I haven't the
I have
foggiest.
absolutely no
Okay,
idea.
I thought it was just me.
Oh, good. Everyone is here. Thank you all for responding so quickly, and I apologize for the extreme haste at which you were all summoned. I'm afraid there was no avoiding such necessities, and I assure you that tonight's meeting is of utmost importance. To be brief, I have called you here for the following reason. This very night, one of you shall attempt to take my life.
Crazy old coot.
You can't be serious.
Saying such absurd things.
Is he off his meds again?
I think he means that.
I received a letter this morning, left anonymously on my doorstep. Now, while I do not know for certain the author of this letter, I am certain that it was penned by someone gathered here tonight. You all would gain from my passing, except for you, Vera. I don't honestly remember why I invited you.
So does that mean I can leave?
Wait, who is Vera?
Seriously? You hired me last week.
I don't remember hiring anybody last week. We brought in a new unpaid intern last week.
That would be me.
Well, you certainly don't look familiar.
Well, perhaps if you had stopped staring at your smartphone for one moment during the interview process.
The point being, all of you, most of you, have a motive for murder. My murder. And I know that you, whoever you are, have a nefarious plan to take my life. Perhaps at this very meeting. So know this, murderer. I have placed a clause in my will stating that the person here who solves my murder and brings my killer to justice shall receive the entirety of my fortune.
Wait, so anyone can receive the reward?
If they find the murderer, yes.
So even though I wasn't in your will, I'm eligible?
Well, yes, as a guest here, you could solve it and get the cash.
What about if a detective solves the murder first?
Well, then that detective would deserve the money.
Stace, don't encourage him.
Let's say I'm the murderer. I kill you, then I turn myself in. If I catch myself, does that mean I win?
No, that's just preposterous.
But I would have solved the murder.
And caught the killer.
You are all putting way too much thought into this.
Agree, Jordan. They're being completely absurd.
Especially considering that nobody here is planning to kill you.
Oh, you truly think so, That I am talking nonsense?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I'm going to put you on home.
I happen to have proof right here. The letter one of you wrote me. It says, and I quote, "Honey, don't forget to take out the garbage." Well, Clearly, that's not the right letter.
Yeah, oh my God, you are.
Stanley, you are just
I must have left the correct letter upstairs. If you will all indulge me for a moment, I shall go and fetch it.
Hmm.
I am so glad I divorced that man.
That would probably be a wise course of action, Mother.
Jace, I'm not going to leave your father
Stepfather.
just because of a little momentary insanity.
He truly has gone mad. I don't feel safe here, honey.
I want to see this letter of his. Should be pretty interesting.
I'll give you 5-1. There is no letter.
Am I allowed to gamble with my boss?
Well, now, this has been a very strange start to the evening, but I think we should all just forget about this nasty business and move on to dinner. Shall we move this meeting to the dining room?
Oh,
I
Good
guess.
idea, Emily.
Well, I'm afraid to say I misplaced the letter, but now, where did everyone go?
Wilma, honey, are you all right?
She's not breathing. She's not breathing!
She must have tripped.
may have hit her head, poor thing.
Judy, calm down. You're causing a scene.
Well, Jace, dear, your wife is right. She's dead.
Ah, so the murderer has made his first move.
She wasn't murdered, you psycho. No one has been murdered.
Yes, they have. Look.
Is that dental floss?
It's not pre-used dental floss, right?
That's your first concern, whether or not the weapon is covered in plaque?
Well, our killer has played their hand. Gentlemen, ladies, you know your task.
You said they would kill you. You're not dead.
Yes, a very clever ploy on the murderer's part. You'll all be so preoccupied with finding clues to the cause of this death that you won't notice my untimely end. Now I must find that letter. It's absolutely imperative, a necessary clue. Hopefully I find it before my demise.
Honey, let's leave!
You're right. We need to go.
So we're all in agreement. Let's go.
We can't leave.
And why's that?
We are all suspects. Leaving is tantamount to admitting guilt.
I'm fairly certain that makes no sense.
Look, let's just call the police. They can sort this business out.
But that would mean that they get the money.
Wrong murder.
What?
What do you mean, what?
Look, let's just call the cops already. And not from this room. Dead bodies are creepy.
Yeah, that's true.
Where did you go
Where did I go when?
just now? Where were you just now?
I went to call the police.
No, we all left together to call the police. Then you disappeared.
I had no idea dental floss could kill a person.
It's all how you handle it, I suppose.
Wait, where's the body?
Don't change the subject. You didn't answer my question.
Hang on. Wasn't there a body here a minute ago?
Somebody moved Wilma.
Tampering with evidence is a serious business, people. Who moved Wilma?
Jordan just happened to wander off a minute ago while we made a call to the police.
At which point you also disappeared, Judy.
We all split up pretty quickly after the phone call.
Yes, but Jordan left first.
I went to the bathroom, okay? My bodily functions aren't going to stop just because we are all in mortal danger.
Mortal danger?
Whoever killed Wilma could be planning to kill us all.
Whoa, no one else here is dying, right?
Just because we haven't doesn't mean we won't.
I'd very much like to leave now.
Perhaps I put it in the study. Well, maybe the ballroom.
This place has a ballroom.
No, dear, it doesn't.
I think we should just all sit down until the police arrive.
I don't want to hang around here with you people. Any one of you could be the murderer, and I have no intentions of waking up dead tomorrow.
But we all need to stay here for police questioning. And if we are all seated, we are all safe from one another.
Unless you did something to the chairs.
You think Jordan booby-trapped the couch cushions?
There's no telling what they might do.
Fine, stand. I won't stop you.
So, you booby-trapped this floor tile then.
I'm not the killer.
Well, one of you is the murderer.
Are you sure? This is a big place. The real killer might not have even been a guest tonight.
And we were all together when Wilma was strangled.
No, we weren't. Wilma came back to the drawing room for something, and we all wandered away from the dining room. I was down the hall when I heard the scream.
I was in the kitchen.
I was in the bathroom.
I thought you just said you were in the bathroom a second ago.
Someone screamed the first time. I wasn't about to just ignore that, so I had to go again.
You must spend your whole life in the bathroom.
And where were you?
I don't remember.
Interesting.
What? I don't remember. I heard a scream and I ran to the drawing room. I don't know where I was, but I wasn't in here.
I believe you, honey.
And where were you?
I don't have to prove my innocence to you.
Or maybe you're just not innocent.
Mother!
Well, I'm sorry, dear, but you do have a reckless streak.
Yes, I crashed a few motorcycles. Reckless is not the same as murderous.
Look, these wild accusations aren't getting us anywhere. Let's all just calmly wait for the police to come sort all this nasty business out.
And give you some quiet for you to plot the next murder? I think not.
And what exactly is your problem with me?
You clearly have the most to gain from all of this.
What?
With Mr. Vines out of the picture, you take control of his entire company.
And how exactly would killing poor Wilma help me achieve that?
Aha! So you do want control of the company.
What?
Jordan is right. We should all just relax. This evening has been a dreadful for all of us, and pointing fingers at each other is doing no good.
Fine. Fine. Let's all just sit here calmly with this evil person and pretend like we don't know they're guilty.
Honey, calm down. We don't know anything.
I can't be here right now. I can't be with them.
Judy, honey, come back.
So, do you think one of those two could be the guilty party?
I'm not keen to give it much thought.
Come on, I'm just asking you to entertain the thought here.
But Judy was trying really hard to cast suspicion elsewhere.
She's just scared.
Scared she might get caught?
Possibly, but as I said, this is not something I desire to think further upon.
Oh, the clock is ticking away, but still no letter.
Regardless of whether or not she's guilty, Judy is behaving rather strangely today.
Is she? I would say she is acting the most normal out of all of us.
How so?
We're all behaving as if this gathering is awkward and uncomfortable. She's behaving as if someone has been murdered. Given the circumstances, I'd say her reaction is a bit more logical.
So what you're saying is she can't be guilty.
Not at all. I am saying simply that her behavior isn't in any way strange.
But our behavior is.
If you want to claim that is what I'm saying, go right ahead.
She locked herself in the kitchen.
Perfectly normal behavior. Wouldn't you say, Jordan?
If it makes her feel safer, then yes, it is.
She keeps insisting you're guilty. How can you defend her?
As I said, we should all be as concerned as her, and yet we are not. We may speculate on who did it, we may even cast suspicious stares at one another, but we are not scared. We are not frightened for our lives, and that means that this death was not entirely surprising to any of us, excepting in the case of Judy.
Are you suggesting that we knew Wilma was going to die?
No, not that we all knew, but we all wondered.
What are you all talking about? Are you talking about my wife behind her back?
No, we were just...
Yes, Chase, that's exactly what we were doing. Leave for a bit longer and we'll work your name into the conversation too.
Look, my wife is not guilty.
No one said she was. Your wife is the one throwing the accusations around.
Yeah, we were just analyzing the situation.
And how is that working out for you?
Not well at all, which is why I continue to insist that we should leave the detective work to the police.
There's something very wrong with all of you.
Well, if you feel that way, then why don't you go hide with your wife?
Shouldn't somebody answer the door?
You're up and about. Why don't you take care of it?
Fine.
Jace, honey, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be snippy. All of this is just hard to cope with.
That's putting it mildly.
Judy was right. We shouldn't have come here.
Well, now there's no reason to talk like that.
Oh, you are so mean, so hateful to my wife. Why? She has never done anything to you.
She married you for the money. There, I said it. Are you happy?
What? She did no such thing.
Jace, where are you going?
To get my wife. We are leaving.
What an interesting family dynamic you have.
Wait, where is Jace now?
Hunting down his wife.
Isn't she still locked in the kitchen?
So it will be a short hunt.
Is this where the body was discovered?
Yeah, right over there.
And where is the body now?
Not sure exactly.
And who might you be?
Detective Druthers, 3rd Precinct. Now, may I ask why you don't know where the body is?
Somebody moved the body while we were calling the police.
And who all is in the house?
That we know of?
Yes, that would be the idea.
I only ask because we haven't eliminated the possibility that somebody we aren't aware of is responsible.
Were any of you not around when you placed the call to the police?
No.
Yes, my husband was elsewhere in the house.
And who is your husband?
Mr. Stanley Vines. This is his estate.
So, as far as you know, Mr. Vines is the only one who could have moved the body.
Well, what?
We didn't exactly rush back to this room after the phone call. We all split up for a little bit. Any of us could have moved the body, really.
There is a murderer in the house, and you just chose to split up? Have none of you watched a single murder mystery?
She won't unlock the door, even to let me in.
Maybe that's for the best, dear.
Don't start, Mother.
Oh, seriously, people, you tell me a murder has taken place in this household, and yet none of you have the common sense to stay together?
I don't appreciate your tone, ma'am.
Detective Druthers, sir. And I don't appreciate your attitude. Now, will someone please tell me who else that you know of is wandering around this house?
My wife isn't exactly wandering anywhere. She barricaded herself in the kitchen.
And your wife's name is?
Judy McCall.
And that would make you?
Jace McCall.
So, Mrs. McCall and Mr. Vines are not currently in this room. Anyone else I should know about?
Nope, that's all of us.
Right. Well, here's the problem. I can report a disturbance, or I could turn this into a missing persons case. But without a body, I cannot investigate a murder.
There was a murder. We all saw the dead body.
Which is all well and good, but I have not. So unless any of you can tell me where I might find it.
He's stuffed inside the kitchen pantry.
Oh, honey, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
All right, that's a place to start. All of you stay here for a moment.
Nice of you to join us.
So, how long did you stay in there before you found the body?
Or did you know it was there all along?
Mother!
It's all right, Jace. Just found the body a minute ago.
You waited a whole minute before leaving the kitchen.
Jace just said she was barricaded in the kitchen.
I dug my way out faster than I thought possible. I guess I didn't do a very good job blocking the door.
No, I'll take the kitchen. You look around upstairs. I want this Mr. Vines found before we do anything else. What do you mean, where is upstairs? Find the stairs and go up them.
Well, that's comforting.
Sorry about that. Now, I'm putting all of you on lockdown for now. I apologize for the inconvenience, but you all need to sit tight for the moment.
Wait, we can't leave this room?
That is correct.
What do we do if we need to use the bathroom? Can we at least get a bucket?
Ma'am, there is no need to be lewd. One of the officers outside the door can escort you to the bathroom.
Officers stationed outside the door.
That is how a lockdown works, yes.
All the doors?
All of the doors. It wouldn't exactly be an effective lockdown otherwise.
So we just sit here?
No one's forcing you to sit. You just can't leave the room.
Can we at least get some playing cards?
I don't think any of us would be interested in playing games right now.
I would.
Jace, no gambling. You promised.
We're just going to pass the time.
I don't have any money to gamble with anyway.
I'll have somebody look into it for you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a kitchen to investigate.
Honey, you didn't touch the body, did you?
What?
Well, they'll be looking for fingerprints.
That's right. Whoever moved Wilma would have had to grab her.
No, I didn't touch Wilma. I just barely opened up the pantry door when I saw her in the corner. At first, I thought it was somebody sleeping there. I turned on the light and it was her, and I freaked out. I ran to the door and just threw everything out of my way.
Detective Druthers will have a lovely little mess to sort through then.
So you were alone with a dead body. I don't see why that would make someone panic.
Look, I was trapped in there with a dead body. Something about being alone and trapped and with the dead,
It's all right, Judy. We understand.
Trying to win back her trust.
I'm trying to comfort her.
For what purpose?
Because it's what I would want if I were feeling the way she feels.
How would you know how I feel?
Honey, stop. Jordan is just trying to help.
Oh, time is running out. The police are here. If they solve the murder first, none of you shall have my estate.
You're still not dead, you dingbat.
This is the wrong time to tender my resignation.
Most definitely.
No, I don't know what happened in there, but dust all of it for fingerprints. Yes, the body too.
So did you track down some cards for us?
And can someone track down a deck of playing cards?
That sounds like a no.
Wait, do they what? Okay, I'll ask. Regular or pinochle deck?
What's pinochle?
Regular.
Seriously? What's pinochle?
I don't know, but look it up on your own time.
I thought this was my own time.
We've searched the entire household, but there was no sign of anyone else in the building, nor any sign of forced entry. All of the doors and windows were closed and latched from the inside, apart from the front door. So unless the killer left through the front dial while you weren't paying attention, or unless one of you happened to lock any other means of exiting this house after the murder, the occupants of this room are my only available suspects.
Wait, you said you haven't found anyone else here?
That is what I said, yes.
And yet Mr. Vines isn't in this room.
But it was just a second ago.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I thought you said we were on lockdown. How come Mr. Vines gets to wander about freely?
Right. Give me a moment. This room is supposed to be on lockdown. How is it that someone left this room without my permission? What do you mean, who left? Mr. Vines, that's who. No, I don't care what his excuse was. You bring him back here, and he stays in this room for the duration. Got it?
Trouble in the ranks?
Oh, he's a good kid. Just too lenient. Oh, now where was I? Oh, yes. It is my belief that the murder of Mrs. Costas.
He was single.
Right. Then the murder of Ms. Costas was committed by someone in this very room, or by Mr. Vines, someone that is currently in this household, but not an officer of the law. None of us are suspects.
Thanks for the clarification.
Now, if one of you would care to confess right now, it would save us all a lot of time. No one? Funny how that never worked. Fine. You will all have to be individually questioned then. Mrs. McCall, we'll start with you. Follow me, please.
Why is she starting with my wife?
Guess to start with someone.
Most scared to least scared is her preferred sorted method, I guess.
Mr. McCall, your turn.
Now, why is Judy still gone?
They must be interviewing us two at a time.
Well, yes, officer, I would say so too. Now, why are you all still in this room? You should be investigating.
We're in lockdown, Stan. We are all of us considered suspects.
All the more reason to be out there finding the real killer.
We can't leave this room, dear. That's what lockdown means.
Ah, the missing Mr. Vines. Sir, please come with me.
I will, but I hope this won't take too much time. I'm not long for this world, you know. Say, I feel like I know you. You're the very image of my ex-wife.
I get that a lot, sir.
Does this house have enough rooms for us all to be interviewed?
Oh, yes, twice over.
Mrs. Vines, please come with me.
And still no playing cards.
We could always engage each other in friendly conversation.
That would be interesting. I've never shot the breeze with a robot before.
Or we can sit here quietly. That works too.
You there. I don't believe I caught your name earlier.
Gast. Vera Gast.
I believe she was talking to me. Jordan Branch.
Right, Branch. This way, please. You're really playing up this unpaid intern cover, aren't you?
The bike is a nice touch, right?
All right, Ms. Gast. Would you care to explain to me what exactly happened here today?
Frankly, Donna, I don't know.
Do you have any leads so far?
I haven't had time to sniff around for clues. And honestly, this isn't my crime scene.
You could have at least done a little of the legwork.
I was here to protect Mr. Vines. That's it. Forget the fact that he decided to hold a dinner party for all his potential killers, or that he refused to stay in one place at any point this evening. After Wilma's death, I couldn't leave the room while they were watching without blowing my cover.
I don't think that protecting your identity was priority one, given the circumstances.
I'll remember that in the future. Look, this is weird for me. I was here to prevent one crime and another happens right under my feet.
So you were in the room?
No, not literally. Well, yes, literally, this is where we found the body the first time. But I wasn't in here when she was killed.
Regina, there's no need to be defensive. You know how these things go. I have to ask all the regular questions, even if you are a cop.
Right. Go ahead then.
What information can you give me about Ms. Costas?
Ex-wife of Mr. Vines. Got the short end of the straw during the divorce. Never remarried or had children. She was recently put back in Stanley's will.
Any given reason why?
Mr. Vines wouldn't tell me.
Did any of the other guests have motive to kill her?
Not that any of them willingly divulged, no. They all seemed pretty keen on calling the cops, too, when the subject came up.
So our killer thinks they've left no evidence.
Were there any fingerprints on the murder weapon?
We're still searching for the vial at this point.
What vial? I was talking about the dental floss.
I'm not sure what you think happened, Regina, but Miss Costas was poisoned.
There was dental floss wrapped around her neck. We thought the killer had strangled her.
Did you look for signs of strangulation?
No, I didn't really get a good look. In fact, the only person who got close enough to examine the body was Mrs. Vines. She was the one who found the dental floss.
I'm going to bring everyone back in, Regina.
Just make sure to call me Vera.
I won't blow your cover if you don't.
Can we leave soon?
I want to get as far away from this place as possible.
I'm afraid we still have a few more questions. Who was the first to the body?
I was. I wanted to see if I could do anything for poor Wilma.
And was the mark on her neck from the dental floss purple yet? Or was it still red?
Oh, it was definitely still red at the time.
Actually, I don't recall seeing a mark on her neck.
Well, you weren't close enough to see it, dear.
And yet there was no mark on the neck at all when I inspected the body. Interesting. Mrs. Vines, would you care to explain why you just lied to me?
Yes, Emily, I would like to hear this as well.
Wasn't a lie. Just misremembered.
Detective Druthers, right? I think you might be looking for this.
Where did you find this? Ms. Gast?
Under this chair.
That's where Wilma was sitting.
Mrs. Vines, I believe it would be safe to assume that when the remaining liquid in this glass is analyzed, we will find traces of poison. In fact, the exact same type of poison that killed Miss Costas.
Wilma was poisoned? Poor dear.
You know she's not buying that sad act, right?
Is this why you suggested this whole evening?
Oh, I thought this was your idea, sir.
When I found that horrible letter this morning, I showed it to Emily, and she said somebody with something to gain, somebody in my will, must have penned it. And she said the only way to figure out who it is to invite everyone in my will to dinner.
I didn't say anything about inviting that nasty intern of yours.
You mean that nasty bodyguard of mine?
I don't know that I'd use the word bodyguard.
But why? Why would you want to kill my ex-wife?
Well, for the same reason you put her back in your will. Fine. I did it. You caught me. I knew my husband was cheating on me with his ex-wife, so I decided to do something about it.
Divorce is a lot less messy than murder, Mrs. Vines. Isn't that right, Regina?
I don't think you remember our divorce proceedings very well.
Mrs. Emily Vines, you are under arrest for the murder of Wilma Costas.
So there was a letter then. Your father wasn't making it up?
Stepfather.
Ex-stepfather. I'm sorry, Chase. I'm sorry, Jace, but I just can't remain married to a murderer.
Hey, that's perfectly okay to me.
I think I found the letter, sir.
Oh, well, yes. Oh, there it is. Let me see it.
I'm sorry I accused you of murder, Jordan.
It's all right, dear. I get that a lot.
Mr. Vines, I am writing to inform you that you will die tonight before the stroke of midnight. Sincerely, your killer.
Why would somebody write that if they had any intention of actually killing you?
Wait, is it past midnight yet?
No, it's just about 11 now.
Regina, do you think you could stay for one more hour?
Sure. It's an intern's duty, after all.
Wait, since I'm no longer your stepson, does that mean I'm out of the will?
Jace, my boy, you never were in it.
Then why was I invited tonight?
I wasn't going to make your wife come here alone.
Ugh.